everyone and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So recently I have actually got back off holiday from a trip to Portugal, which was honestly so lovely. But by me posting about this, my DMs on Instagram have literally been flooded by so many questions from you guys asking for tips and advice on travelling abroad with a baby, as well as tips and advice on travelling abroad whilst pregnant. So a few days ago I did in fact post a Q&A box over on my Instagram story asking you guys what questions do you... Excuse you? Asking you guys what questions and tips you want to ask me to discuss in this video. So I'm going to go through the most popular asked ones and hopefully, fingers crossed, you will get the advice and tips that you need. Say hi! Say hiya! So we might as well get started even though Delilah is on my knee. Okay, so there was multiple questions about travelling with a pram. People have asked if it's best to buy a buggy, etc. For me personally, I didn't feel like it was a need to have that extra expense of buying an individual buggy to take abroad. So we did actually take our two-piece pram, which is from Junima. I'm absolutely obsessed with that pram. And we did discover as well, we did travel with Jack too. Obviously I would recommend checking with your airlines how many pieces, like how many pram pieces you can have, if that makes sense. So we have obviously the wheels, which is piece number 1, and the piece number 2 was the seat because it folds down into 2 pieces. And we were allowed to go through with that at Jet2. So some airlines might only allow 1, so then in that case, yes, if you do have a 2-piece pram, you might have to buy a buggy. But I didn't have to do that, which I was really pleased about because I didn't really want to buy a pram just to go away on holiday, if that makes sense. And the way that it works at the airport with the pram is you're allowed to have your pram all the way up to the gate, you know, where you're boarding your flight. And then at the gate, you just put it down, take it apart, fold it down flat, leave it there, and the airline will pop it on the plane for you, and then you just collect it on the other side where you will collect your luggage. It is really straightforward with the prams, you know. Obviously, you can check them in as soon as you get to the airport, but then obviously you've got to consider how long you're going to be walking around the airport for. You're going to get delayed, because I know for me personally, if we was to get delayed, I would rather have Delilah's pram with me so I wasn't just carrying her around everywhere. And as well, if she wanted to have a nap, she can nap in a pram. So that is my personal preference on the pram situation. Obviously I do know of some people that would rather get a buggy, which obviously is completely fine, but I just personally didn't really want to have that extra expense, which just wasn't needed when I had a perfectly good pram that I was allowed to take on board. Okay, the next question is, what is it like going through security? I'm not too sure if this is the case at every single airport, but I'm pretty sure it probably will be. But if not, yet again, just do your research. But basically at Manchester Airport, if you've got a child or a baby, you can go down the priority lane, so where people go if you're in a wheelchair or anything like that, which means that you are priority. And it is obviously a quicker process, etc. But then you've got to consider the fact that if you're bringing formula through or baby food, what's up, then it might take a little bit longer because they like to do the checks. And in regards to the pram as well, you have to fold that down at security and pop it on the conveyor belt thingamajig. So what I've done both times is pop your bags at security, you know, like we have to get your liquids out and stuff like that. Pop all of that in the trays that they give you, and then what I do is, well, what I did this time was you like go to someone points you in the right direction where you need to put your pram, and then they'll basically sort it from there, so you don't need to panic. And then when you're going through like the beepy things, I don't even know what you call them, you can carry your child through. That's what I did both times. And yeah, that's pretty much security. How do you keep your baby occupied on the flight? So for me personally, it has worked best. It has worked, what's wrong, baby? It has worked best timing our flights with when I know Delilah is going to have a nap or when she's going to be tired, etc. So going out to Portugal, we did fly at 6:45 in the morning. So that meant that when we got on the plane, she fell back asleep virtually straight away. I give her a bottle on takeoff because people recommend to do that simply because like your ears can pop and it'll just help ease like your baby's ears because they're sucking on something. But on the way to Portugal, Delilah actually slept for about an hour and a half, and then we only had an hour left, which was perfect. And then she just played, we read her some books, she had some food, some bottles, some snacks, And from time to time I just popped her on the floor so she could stand up, because it was quite like claustrophobic, if that's the word, because we had a replacement plane on the way out where it was 2 seats, then the aisle, 4 seats, the aisle, and then 2 seats. It's quite weird. But me and Jess were actually sat bang in the middle of the 4 seats, so Delilah didn't have much room to get about, type of thing. So we just popped her at our feet a few times and she loved it. She absolutely loved it. And then on the flight home, it was a midday flight. It was at like 11, I think. And she only slept for about half an hour, 40 minutes on the way home, but like towards the end of the flight, if that makes sense. So the beginning of the flight was it wasn't challenging, but because I was tired. So that's a tip actually, make sure that you do get plenty of sleep before you fly, just in case your baby isn't tired. But in regards to keeping Delilah occupied on the flight, it was just a case of bringing plenty of snacks, bringing some books, some toys, and that was pretty much it. And as well, download some videos off YouTube onto your phone, so then your baby can watch them offline, like on the flight, when you're on holiday, etc. And basically any times that you're not connected to the internet. Somebody has asked what sun cream did we use for Delilah. So we did use the Sultan Baby Factor 50. I got the Sultan one simply because I know my grandma raves about it and I just trust her opinion. And I know also some people are against putting sun cream on babies, but I don't know, it's just for my own peace of mind, and I'll just feel better knowing that she's got protection on her skin, if that makes sense. How did you make the bottles when at the airport, or did you pre-make them? So when we flew to Mallorca when Delilah was 3 months pregnant, I actually made them up myself and just put them in a man bottles, and just how you would make them at home and just bring them out with you, type of thing. This time around I actually brought the pre-made, like ready to drink Aptamil bottles. I brought 6 of them through security, they were allowed through, and I also brought baby food pouches as well and pots of custard for her, and they were also allowed. And I brought some crisps for her and whatever other snacks, and that was all allowed through as well. So in regards to formula, bringing it through security, you're allowed to bring powder, you're allowed to bring ready-made, ready-to-drink formula, you're allowed to bring anything for your baby pretty much regarding formula. They just might need to do some tests and inspect it. So this kind of follows on from that, like what you're allowed to bring through security. Somebody's asked, can you bring a pram? Yes, you can bring a pram. I'm pretty certain you can bring a pram, which is either a 1-piece pram or 2-piece pram. But look, check with the specific airline that you're travelling with. And you're allowed to bring obviously like the typical nappies, the wipes, clothes, you name it, you can bring all of that through for your baby. Somebody has asked me, did I find it tough travelling abroad whilst pregnant and with a baby? For me, I didn't really struggle with it, simply because I was travelling with my best friend Jess and my family were over there already. So we flew over to meet my grandma and granddad, and Lily and Callum arrived the day after we arrived. So I wasn't on my own, so I didn't struggle in that sense, because if I needed help there was always someone there. Lily and Callum had Delilah on their own like a couple of times, my grandma and granddad did as well, so I could still have like a little bit of a couple of hours to myself, type of thing. And as well, Delilah got in the routine of napping for 2 hours roughly a day, so whenever she did go down for a nap, I knew right, let's make the most of this 2 hours. The next question is about sterilising bottles when you're abroad. So when I went to Mallorca when Delilah was 3 months pregnant, and then this time when we went to Portugal when she was 11 months pregnant, both times our room have actually had a microwave. Now I use man bottles, so you can sterilise them in the microwave, so I didn't really have to worry about sterilising the bottles when I was away from home, because obviously I had the microwave. But what I would recommend, if you don't have obviously if you don't have man bottles or you can't microwave your bottles, you can buy Milton sterilising tablets, which I think if you just I think you can basically fill up the sink with water and then pop a tablet in, or a big bowl, or I've seen people buy like portable bucket things off Amazon to sterilise the baby's bottles when they do go away. But as well, this is probably the easiest option, you can buy sterilising bags. So they're like plastic bags that have a sterilising oh baby, but I'm just going to try and get her to go to sleep, and then I will speak to you. She's falling asleep on me. Before I forget what I'm going to say, before I put her down, you can get sterilising bags with, they already have a tablet in the bag, which is great, and all you have to do is add water to them. So I would definitely recommend getting the sterilising bags instead of just the tablets, because then you've got the bag, you've got the tablet, and then I think, if I remember correctly, the bottles can be sterilised within 15 minutes, so definitely check out them. Sorry about that, she's gone down for a nap now. See what I mean? I now know she'll be asleep for 2 hours, so I can finish this video and I can edit it. Were there taxis with car seats, or did you just hold her? So depending on the country that you travel to, they might have different rules. So before I went away, I did my research, and apparently Ubers have to provide a car seat in Portugal, if that makes sense. But then I do know, like in the UK for example, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty certain when I first had Delilah, I looked into it when we was going to Mallorca and we was going to get a taxi to the airport before my dad offered to take us, and like some countries actually allow you, as long as you're sat behind the seat on the back seat. So say if you're sat behind the driver's seat or sat behind the passenger seat, just not in the middle of the back, sometimes you can just hold your child. Obviously that doesn't sound safe. I'm pretty aware that doesn't sound safe, but obviously if you're comfortable with doing that and that country allows that, then that's an option. I know some countries it is compulsory to have your own car seat, so I think it is a case of just doing some research before you go away to your specific destination type of thing. But in Portugal they did provide us with a car seat, but it was like a little booster seat, which was fine because Delilah can sit up herself now. So obviously for me, she's like in a baby car seat type of thing at home, so I was like, oh my god. But it was so funny and it just felt so wrong, but that was their country's rules, do you know what I mean? But yeah, that's the car seat situation. So somebody's asking, how many outfits did you pack for your baby? So going away next month when baby will be 4 months old. So for me personally, when we went to Mallorca, I definitely did overpack for Delilah. This time round I literally packed 3, so we were there for 3 nights. I packed plenty of vests because I knew it would be hot in the day and she wouldn't be wearing full-on outfits. I packed swimming costumes for her, and I packed 3 nighttime outfits for her. I think I packed about 6 vests, I think, and just like little t-shirts and stuff like that for in the daytime if I was going to go shopping or for food or something like that. So I basically worked on 3 nighttime outfits for 3 nights. So say if you're going for 7 nights, 7 night outfits, etc. Plenty of vests, and that's pretty much all I think you need. But I would definitely recommend as well bringing a long sleeved swimsuit for the pool, because in the water, I've been told, I don't know if this is true or not, but I've been told that you're more likely to catch the sun because of the reflection of the water or something. I don't really know. But as well, to help protect your baby from the sun, I would definitely recommend a long sleeved and long legged swimsuit. So I got Delilah's from Boots, and I also got her a towel with a hood from Boots as well, so that when she got out the pool her head was covered straight away again. And yeah, that is pretty much that is the clothes that I just recommend for babies. Vests, nighttime outfits if you're going out in the evening, obviously if you're going out in the daytime outfits, but I would only work on like 1 a day. But if your baby's anything like Delilah and she likes to shit explode, I would definitely bring maybe a couple of spares of couple spare outfits maybe, but plenty of vests, because if you go into a hot country you don't want your baby just to be like melting. Okay, so the next one is tips for keeping cool whilst pregnant. So obviously, as I've already got a baby, I was in the shade an awful lot with Delilah as it was. So I was very anyway. I don't recall actually getting too hot, but at times when I was feeling a bit like clammy and a bit meh, I just sat by the pool and dipped my feet in just to cool down. As well, when we went to Mallorca, I did buy a fan, an electric handheld fan that could wrap around the pram, and that really helped cool Delilah down. I forgot to bring one this time, but she didn't really need it, to be fair, this time round. But that would be perfect as well if you're pregnant, to have a little handheld fan, so that when you're walking around you've got a fan like blowing in your face, just to help keep you cool. The next question is, did you wear compression socks on the plane? So when I flew to Portugal last year when I was pregnant, I didn't even know what compression socks were, and boy do I wish I knew about them. So when I flew to Portugal last year, I swelled up so badly, like it was actually really uncomfortable. my legs just expanded like you've never seen before. My toes, my feet, my legs, everything was just so swollen. And then this time round I did actually order some compression socks, and it said that they were delivered, but they wasn't delivered, so I didn't end up bringing any with me. But this time around I didn't actually swell up, but I was thinking, was it because maybe I had tight leggings on and I had tight trainers on, whereas last year when I travelled I think I had like a jumpsuit on and Crocs. So like Crocs aren't tight, so maybe my tight trainers actually helped, I don't know. But I would definitely recommend bringing compression socks for your flight if you are pregnant, just to avoid swelling. Someone's asked, what does Delilah wear to sleep abroad? So depending on how hot it is, sometimes she just wore a nappy, other times she just wore a vest, but she always had a sheet over her, so like she was never cold at all. Our aircon was awful, like it just wasn't like cooling, so yeah, she just went to sleep either in a vest or in a nappy. So many of you have asked me how I was so tanned on holiday. The straight up answer is Filter by Molly May. It is genuinely the best tan ever. I'm obsessed with it. It doesn't go patchy. I was in the pool pretty much well, not all the time, but I went in the pool a good few times. I was showering every day and it didn't go patchy at all. It just faded off really, really nicely. So yeah, Filter by Molly May is what kept me very, very bronzed on holiday. Did you go for maternity clothes or clothes that were a bigger size than usual? Okay, so for me personally, I never tend to buy maternity clothes just because I feel like they're just not flattering like on me personally, and I can never find any nice maternity clothes. If anyone does know of anywhere where I can get decent maternity clothes, please do let me know down below in the comments. So I usually tend to just buy normal clothes and size up. Yes, it can be difficult to kind of guess what size I am. But the majority of the clothes that I took on holiday, I sized up to I think size 12, I think, and it was perfect. Just, I would definitely recommend looking at the description of the material, because, and like the description of the overall item that you're purchasing. So I just brought loads of midi dresses, maxi dresses in cotton materials that I knew would just fit nicely like over my bump type of thing, and just be quite figure hugging, you know, like it just looks so that they just fall nicely on your bump. Is there anything you didn't pack for your baby but you wish you did? Yes. So I wish I brought a sun umbrella. I've been getting a bit of hate for what I did on holiday, but I get it. I understand why I've got the hate, so it's fine. It's not really hate. Let's call it advice. But some people just didn't give advice. They just was like hate. But anyway, I would definitely recommend a sun umbrella for your baby's pram. I'm not promoting what I'm about to say, but it just worked for us. I actually put a towel over Delilah's pram, mainly to keep the sun out of her eyes, because she was always covered in like things that the sun couldn't penetrate through type of thing. But people have told me that if you put a towel over the pram, it like makes the pram heat up quicker or something, and it can cause your baby overheating, which I'd never knew, but thanks for telling me, because I actually genuinely didn't know that. I'm travelling to Cyprus next year. What floaties armbands did you use? So for us, we just walked to like one of them shops, you know, that you have on holiday, and we just bought some normal armbands and a little baby flow. I didn't bring anything with me because I knew obviously there'll be shops over there where I can get that, so that is what we did. Best things to pack in your hand luggage. My little girl will be 14 months. So what I would recommend is in your hand luggage, make sure you've got plenty of nappies, wipes, spare change of clothes, a vest, toys, books, formula, snacks, and I think that's pretty much it really. Just what you'd normally have in like the change bag, but there may be extras depending on how long your flight is, and obviously you can never have too many nappies. I'm not even joking you. On the way home from Portugal, yeah, we got to the airport. Delilah had done a number 2, so I had to change her. Before we boarded on that flight, she'd done another one, and I thought packing 3 nappies in the bag would be enough, but it wasn't. Luckily I had some in my little suitcase, which I use for hand luggage as well, but if I hadn't have had them, I don't know what I would have done. But yeah, so she had 2 then, and then she had one when we landed back in Manchester. I was like, how is this girl producing all this? How? But anyway, yeah, bring plenty of nappies on the plane. Oh, this is a good one. Can you take a pushchair on as extra hand luggage as well as a bag? Yes, you can. So the pram is kind of seen as like your baby's hand luggage, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? So basically, it was me, Jess and Delilah. Jess had her little like handbag as her hand luggage. I had a little black suitcase, my handbag, and Delilah's like pram bag thing. Obviously check with your airline again, but if they'd have pulled me up saying I've got too many hand luggages, like I'm not allowed my little handbag, then I'd have just popped it in my little black case. Do you know what I mean? And then I'd have been like, take it out when you get through security. Top tip. Someone's asked me, are you allowed your belly out in the sun? I actually don't know. I didn't, I don't think. Oh no, I did on the last day, but I was in the shade the majority of the time. I don't really see why not. You just need to make sure that you're not overheating yourself, because like obviously you don't want to agitate your baby, I think. So maybe you are, but you just need to be like vigilant about your body heat, if that makes sense. My boyfriend is so influenced by other people that we shouldn't take our baby away. Girl, honestly, if you want to take your baby away, take your baby away. And if he's not going to go with you, I happily will. So let's oh my god, imagine if loads of mums just went away on holiday with all the babies. I want to do it. I want to do it. Should we do it? Should we do it? Oh my god, should we do it? Should we do it? How fun would that be? Mum's on tour. Oh my god, that would be sick. We'd literally sell out all the little shops with armbands and floats. Oh, how cute would that be? On a serious note, if you want to take your baby away, take your baby away. It isn't as stressful as people make out to be. Like, obviously every baby's different, I know, but if you know your baby and what works for your baby, it won't be hard, if that makes sense. And obviously when you're on holiday, you're going to be doing stuff, you're going to be out and about, you're going to be chilling, you're going to be swimming, you're going to be eating, you're going to be drinking. The list goes on, and you can bring your baby. Do you know what I mean? Like, just take your baby. Take your baby. You'll have the best time ever, and you're going to make some amazing memories. So if your boyfriend if your boyfriend's listening to other people, you should listen to me. Oh, this is a good question. Did both parents have to sign baby's passport when applying? I think so. I think so, yes. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we did. I'm pregnant and I go away in July. Where did you get your maternity holiday clothes from? So I think I previously like touched on this topic, but I personally don't get maternity clothes. I just get normal clothes in like a cottony material or a linen material and just size up. But I did get the majority of my clothes from Talia Rose, PLT, and I think that's it. Primark. But yeah, I think that's it. What do you give Delilah to drink if the tap water isn't good to drink? That is a really good question. Okay, so obviously some countries, like, we're recommending not to drink their tap water, so I just bought bottled water from the shop. I've always done that when I've gone away on holiday. That's just my personal preference. I just would prefer to drink bottled water when I am abroad. So I use bottled water to make her bottles. I use bottled water to drink. So yeah. How much baby food did you take? I'm going away next month and I'm clueless. Honestly, I thought I had plenty and I didn't. I had to go to the supermarket twice to get more baby food. So I originally worked on how many she normally would have at home. So I knew for breakfast she'd be fine, because like I was going to buy toast and croissants and stuff like that and fruit for in our room. But so yeah, no, so basically I bought 6 pouches of food thinking, right, 2 a day. No, that was not enough. I ended up buying another 6 jars whilst I was over there. But I would probably so-called overpack on baby food, just in case there isn't a supermarket local to where you stay in where you can actually buy baby food, if that makes sense, because I'm not too sure if everywhere does, but where we were staying in Portugal, they did. Right, so this next part, I'm going to give my 5 top tips for travelling abroad whilst pregnant. Top tip number 1, bring compression socks for the plane. Tip number 2, make sure that you do stay as cool as you possibly can, just to make sure that you don't overheat yourself or baby. Tip number 3, make sure you stay hydrated, drink plenty of fluid, plenty of water. There was actually one day in Portugal where I felt quite lightheaded and dizzy, and I necked some water down me and I felt fine afterwards. Tip number 4, whoa, that was aggressive. Tip number 4, make sure that you have the best time ever. And I know sometimes when you're pregnant, you can feel a little bit self-conscious about yourself, because I'm not gonna lie, I did at some points, but I thought, you know what, no, you're pregnant, your body's amazing, you are creating a human being, you look great. Tell yourself that. Look at yourself in the mirror and be like, hon, I'm looking in the mirror by the way, you look great. Tell yourself that. Just work it, work your bump, take some photos, make yourself feel good, just speak positive thoughts to yourself, because I understand when you're pregnant you can feel a bit you can feel a little bit insecure, you can feel a little bit, you know, we've all been there. But yeah, that is tip number 4. Tip number 5, double check with your airline how many weeks pregnant you can be in order to fly with them, because I know with certain airlines you either can't fly after a certain amount of weeks of being pregnant, or at a certain amount of weeks pregnant you need like to fill out a flying form of some sort. I know Ryanair have their own specific form that needs to be signed off by a doctor or a midwife. Some just require a fit to fly letter from your midwife. Make sure that you do check with your specific airline the rules for flying with them when pregnant. If they have a specific form that you need to fill out and get signed, or if you could just get a fit to fly from your midwife or doctor, and make sure you check the amount of weeks you're allowed to fly with them up to, if that makes sense. I think I pretty much covered everything in this video, but if not, just comment down below and I'll make sure to reply back to any comments that you might have or any questions that you might have. But I think I have pretty much covered everything. I need to go and have a drink because I literally sound like Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Please make sure that you have subscribed if you haven't already, and smash a big thumbs up if you did enjoy. Like I said, if you do have any other questions that I've not actually covered in this video, please feel free just to comment down below and I will make sure to respond to them at some point. But yeah, thanks for watching everyone, and I'll see you in a video next Wednesday.